Alright, hey everyone. This is the 7th installment of my Army Collection videos for 2012. As you can tell, I've really put this last one off because there is just so much stuff to take out. I really did not have any excitement around the task of pulling all the foam trays out and pulling each and every little piece out and then putting them back away, but finally I decided to get it done. For the record, it is New Year's Eve 2012. I felt like I had to get this done for 2012 so I can do a whole new set of them for 2013 as I expand my collections. So this is maybe a little unfair because remember I did my Africa Corps as a separate video. I guess I could have included them here to really show all my Germans, but I tend to think of them as a whole different collection, I guess. I don't know why. Because here I have combined both my early war and my late war stuff. So I guess you could almost think of my Germans as either one massive collection or three smaller collections, depending on how you approach it. But so for this video, I've included the basically the early stuff, the early mid, and all the way through to the end, except for the Africa Corps. And again, you can go check out the Africa Corps video through the links, which I'll try to remember to provide below. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in here. All right. So this here is my Panzer I collection. Let me focus in on that there. This is a boatload of Panzer Is by Battlefront. Up there up front are the Panzer Beefelswagens, or Derp wagons as we like to call them, the little Panzer I command vehicles. And I'm just going to go left to right and go backwards behind the units. And I apologize if I sound a little crazy. I'm fairly sick right now, so coming off of like 16 hours of sleep and my brain isn't 100% firing correctly. Alright, so there are some Panzerjäger 1s, or as we like to call them, Marder Primes. I like those guys, they look pretty cool. I love pretty much all the crazy orky looking things where they slapped a big gun on a chassis. There are the 15cm guns slapped on a Panzer I chassis, again. Behind them there you can see I have the Kradschützen guys. Those were such an epic pain to paint. You will never ever see me have a full company of them. I promise you that. Just the one platoon. Behind them there I've got some captured T-34s. Those are probably a little out of place here. I probably should have put them further down with maybe the mid-war stuff, but whatever, they look kind of cool. I gave them a scheme for SS Das Reich, or no, I'm sorry, Totenkopf, my mistake. In reality, I don't think they ever fielded them in full companies when they would have still been painted gray, but whatever, they're a little bit of a what-if. Alright, going back here. See, I have a fairly massive collection of Panzer IIs. I think there's 17 of those guys. Okay, behind them I've got 2 pairs of 6 rads and 1 pair of 8 rads. Okay, coming forward over here. Some Panzer IIIs, and behind them the Sturmpanzer III, or we call those Brummbär Primes. Love the look of those things for similar reasons. Okay, behind them I've got my Panzer Grenadiers, or at least the half-tracks, and a flight of Stukas. Okay, coming back up front here. Panzer IVs in various marks, some short barrels and some long barrels. And I've got some Stugs along with their little command vehicle. And now behind them I've got the infantry HQ and 2 ridiculously large infantry blocks, and that's so that I can do them as pretty much all of the options. I can do them as pioneers, or I can do them as the old infantry organization as they are in Blitzkrieg, or the new infantry. And then behind them mortars. Now, you'll notice I don't have a lot of infantry support here, and that's because the early war Germans were really a new thing for me in 2012, and if you followed my videos before, you tend to see that I almost always start with armored forces and then bulk out the infantry. That's really just because I like painting tanks a lot more than I like painting infantry, so I tend to get armor stuff done first. Alright, so we now move into my late war forces, and there's a lot more here. So as you can see right here, we've got a boatload of Panzer IV H's. And then right behind them, probably my favorite part of my whole German collection for some weird reason, are all my captured tanks. Got a captured KV, T-70, T-34, T-34-85. And back there I've got a Sherman and a Sherman Firefly. And then just next to them I've got some Brumbars. And now moving backwards, I've got some infantry. Those are actually assault rifle troops. This is the dismounted Beglite troops that go out right on the Stugs, although I use them as anything armed with assault rifles, basically. Behind them, I've got infantry HQ, so there's some snipers and some HQ stuff. Mortars. There's some little bunkers. I've got Tobruk pits and R-35 turrets and things like that. HMG platoon. 3 platoons of infantry. And some Nebelwerfers way back there. And by the way, I think I missed this guy here. HS-129B. Alright, let's come on back to the front here. So these are my Stugs. This is a Stug battery. Now, if you can see, they have their mounted infantry guys. Let me show you how I did these. This is actually, they're on the back of the plastic that comes on a blister card. And on some of them I've cut it to shape. So like this one with the wheels, I've cut that to fit perfectly. And that's worked really well. I've done that for my Soviets as well. So I've got a bunch of Stug 3s, then some 4s right there. Those are actually the very first late war German things I ever painted. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish out what's back here. We'll come back to the armored forces up front. There's a Pioneer platoon, some Pak 40s, and some 105s back there. Okay, so now let's finish this out here. Got some Panthers. And behind them I've got some Jag Panthers and a Berg Panther. By the way, don't call me out on pronunciations. I know they're all bad. That's how I roll. Alright, got some Marder 3s. RSO Pak 40s. Here we've got some AA options. It's a Flak Panzer 38T. I pretty much love all the things slapped on a 38T chassis. Speaking of which, here's some Hetzers. Here's some more recon elements here. I've got the light Panzerspa, Pumas, Panzer II Ls. Okay, let's finish out back here. Here's some Tin 5 AA. Some little recon guys. A bunch of Panzer Grenadiers. See there's a captured US half-track. And some armored Panzerwerfers. And last but not least, some Tigers. Some Tiger 2s. Some Sturm Tigers. And some Grills. Alright, I think that just about covers it. So you've probably seen these in all the ridiculous amounts of battle reports we have now on the website. But if there's anything in particular you'd like to see, just let me know. And by the way, I'm going to go ahead and show you how many foam trays this army takes up. There you go. That's how many foam trays. So that was fun. Alright. Thanks for joining me. As always, you can find more at wwpd.net.